guys, welcome back to P&W Repair. You're joining us for the first time. I'm Andy. Today on the channel, we are replacing our VE injection pump on our 12 valve Cummins service truck. Probably the cheapest VE injection pump anywhere. Decided to take a stab at it and see, maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know. Found this thing on Temu for 400 something bucks, so we'll take the chance. Hang out and we'll see what happens. We have to get the engine at top dead center on the compression stroke. To do that, we have this plunger beneath the injection pump. It's just got a plastic nipple on the end of it, so it's extremely easy to shear right off in that cam gear if you're too wild with it. So, some tips on how I do this, because usually that plunger, I mean, at least on every one of these 12 valves I've worked on, it's got enough grime and crap built up in there that they don't really slide in and out the easiest. So what I'll do for that is I'll just take an extension, long extension, and what do I got? A 12 millimeter quarter drive socket, and I'll put it down in there. Well, if I can do this through the camera. You get the idea. I'll put the socket, there we go. I'll put the socket on the end of the plunger, and then over here I can just hold the end of that extension and use this bracket and leverage it, pushing it in, while with my other arm I can put a 5/8 socket. There's 4 5/8 bolts that hold the balancer on, and with that other arm you can take a long ratchet and a 5/8 socket, turn the motor over. Yeah, the proper way on a Cummins, they have barring tools to rotate the engines. Well, getting one of these motors in time and being clear over at the transmission with a 4-inch downpipe in the way of that access hole for the barring tool is not doable. So I'll do it right off of the balancer, one of those 4 bolts. And I mean, you just got to be patient, go slow. I'll pop valve cover off cylinder 1. I'll wait for it to go through its intake, or I'll watch the valve for the intake go back up and the exhaust go back up, and it'll fall right into place. So that's how you get it in time. From here, gonna go ahead and start taking all this goodness off. Start pulling some lines off, pull our throttle linkage, get all this stuff out of the way. This big bracket has to come out. So I'll do that, get back with you. Another thing worth noting, now that we have our engine pinned at top dead center, it's good practice to pin the pump. In order to do that, down on the side of the pump here, 10 millimeter bolt, or it's 10 millimeter hex headed bolt, probably a 6 millimeter bolt in reality. Loosen that up. You have this washer. Remove that to put this into time, or to pin it into time, rather. And then it's as simple as, if I can get my hand off the camera, we'll tighten this back up all the way, so then you won't have that space. This is what's actually going to push up, I believe, against what you would consider the rotor of the pump and prevent it from rotating. So I got our fuel lines off. The throttle linkage bracket, pull that loose. Then I went ahead and, well, we already went over that. I pinned my pump. I pulled the gear. The gear is loose on the end of the input shaft to the injection pump. All the lines and the 2 wiring connectors are off of the injection pump at this point. So at this spot, we will go ahead and pull our 3 mounting nuts for the pump and slide this pump out. Well, it's finally out. In typical fashion, nothing can be simple if I'm doing it. So, of course, the most difficult nut to get off back here in the inside next to the tappet cover, decided to pull the stud rather than the nut. So I just messed around with that for probably a good hour and a half. But it's out, so onwards and upwards. We're all back together now. I have the lines on the pump tight, and we are loose up on the injectors. Went ahead and removed the intake boot just in case she tries to run away. Being the quality Chinese pump this is, there actually was no timing mark on the face of the pump. On a Bosch pump, they have one that's 5 o'clock roughly, and that'll line up with the keyway. So what I ended up doing was pulling the timing pin on the pump. I put the nut on the input shaft to the pump and spun it to where it was roughly where my old pump was, and then locked down the timing pin. From there I installed it on the truck, did my preliminary torque on the timing or the injection pump gear, which is 15 foot-pounds, then came over and tightened down the 3 nuts holding the pump to the timing case, and then went back and did the final torque on that injection pump gear, which I wrote it down. I don't remember off the top of my head. What do we got? 48 foot-pounds. So at this point, I'm gonna crank on it a bit, get it to bleed, and I'll get back with you when I have these injectors locked down and I'm ready to see if it'll fire. All right, all the lines bled out. I got them tightened back down. We're ready to make some noise. Let's do this thing. Over here somewhere. I gotta figure out what this thing is. I'm gonna assume that's why we're missing. Like maybe one of our lines. Gotta take some stuff back apart. But it runs. It's missing hard, but I think that's probably because the fuel leak I got over here. All right, back apart, and we'll try it a second time. Take 2. Need keys to try that. we're gonna have to buy dialing to check timing. That's really rough. Yeah, either that pump is going to be a no-go, or we need the actual tooling to confirm how advanced or retarded that pump is. So, I'll look into it. I'm probably going to do that before I end this video, just so you guys have a better idea of whether or not those pumps were $460. It runs, but that's not air in the line. That's clearly an issue, whether it's the pump or how advanced or retarded the timing is, which I have no way of telling that. So I'll look into getting the tools, and we'll go from there. Appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, I'll get back with you on it as soon as I get the tooling. Funny how well it runs after you put an actual Bosch remand on it and not a Chinese piece of crap. Lesson learned. It's not worth saving the $500 because you're just going to do it twice. But it's back up and running the way it's supposed to. And I got a 1-year warranty on the pump. The pump came from Thoroughbred Diesel. Appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.